Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on today. This episode of As the Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose. I am your host, Nacho Mama. Some people call me Crystal, some people call me Criddle, like Riddle with a C. Either way, Nacho Mama is a personality, not a person. Today we're going to ask the question, why'd they do it? Why'd they do it for Cancer? Cancer, why'd they do it? All right. I've noticed that I've done a lot of general readings, just what Spirit wants everyone to know, just kind of whatever falls out. Today, I'm going to read a very specific question. Why'd they do it, Cancer? Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. I'm super, super appreciative of all of you that are here and all of you that are about to be here. You guys are amazing. I love you. Thank you very much. So, Cancer, why did they do it? Universe, please use me as a conduit to express the best answer for why they did it for the Cancer Collective. Why'd they do it, Cancer? Why did they do it? Please and thank you. So mote it be. Amen. Why did they do it, Cancer? Why did they do it? Because they were weak? Because there was hostility? You have 2 Leo cards on the board. Some sort of hostility in the family home. They did it because there was a lot of hostility, because the hostility made them weak, because something about their legacy, their work, because of failure. Could be dealing with an Aries, Virgo, and Leo. They did it because they were weak, Cancer. Because the fight in them, they had no fight left in them towards whatever this work situation is. I don't feel like it was like necessarily family life, but I felt like some sort of cowardice. Because they were scared of rejection. Because they felt the hostility growing. They felt like there was just, the hostility was growing in this situation, in this work environment. Yeah, there's a collapse of work, collapse of legacy, collapse of money. Maybe they lost some money. Maybe they're stressed out about money. Maybe the money situation has caused a lot of hostility, and anguish, and makes this person feel weak. Like maybe they got rejected for a job and they lashed out at you. Distraction. They're distracted by their failure. They don't have the endurance. They didn't have the endurance to keep up. This rejection, if they got rejected for a job, then they lashed out, which caused a lot more hostility and a lot more collapse had they just, went inside and internalized it instead of being manipulative. I think that they got rejected in some sort of work option or availability, maybe on a job interview, or something to do with money that they lost, they failed, and they're taking it out on you. They're using that energy and manipulating the energy to make it your fault, to make it somehow that you are the reason. But it feels like because of a loss of money or a loss of job or a loss of opportunity. So they're manipulating that energy and turning it back on you out of despair, like kicking the dog syndrome. They have no hope. They have no, they're just distracted by their failure. Like they might have failed before. So they're too cowardice to try again. And instead they're just going to take it out on everybody else. Excuse me. Yeah, something was a disaster. Whatever this failure was a huge disaster for them financially, for their legacy. If it was a job, if they got rejected for a job, then they're taking it out on everybody else. You know, they're internalizing it and then turning it out on everybody else. Yeah, they're being selfish about it. Very self-centered, very not seeing how their actions are affecting everybody else around them. You know, they're just manipulating and turning it on everybody else instead of themselves. You know, it's everybody else's fault that this happened. It's everybody else's fault that I didn't get this job. It's everybody else but me type of energy. And they refuse to see it any other way. They refuse to see how their actions, how their reckless behavior, you know, how they have any sort of issue with the problem, you know, how they could be responsible for any of it. Like, oh, well, I did this and this and this. How could they not, you know, hire me? How could they not believe in me? You know, they're refusing to take accountability. And they're holding on to this failure. They're holding on to this failure. They're not seeing how rejection is protection, and they're just lashing out at everybody else. Yeah, and it keeps them up. Like, they are all in their head, but they're turning it out on you. I don't think they're taking accountability for their actions. They might have been distracted, you know, but they're being very selfish about it. I don't think they have any sort of stability. But I think that they did it because they're like a coward. And a coward doesn't hold themselves accountable. You know, they don't hold themselves accountable for their actions, for their reactions. They blame everybody else. You know, oh, I didn't get this job because you made me do this, or you made me feel like that, or I didn't have this today, so I didn't get that done. And, you know, they put the blame on everybody else. Why? Because they don't know how to take accountability. Because they don't know how to be vulnerable with themselves. Like, they can't even be true to themselves, so they can't be true to you. You know, there's a lot of envy at work. You know, maybe they're envious of the fact that you work. So they're just projecting their suffering. But they're not holding themselves accountable. Their response is in suffering. You know? And even if they do realize it, they're not holding themselves accountable. I just don't think that they're holding themselves accountable. I think they're blaming everybody else. I don't think that they have the strength. I think that they're too coward to admit that, you know, that the reason that they're in this position is because of all of their lack of accountability, of all of their distractions, because they let other things be more important than whatever this was. You know, the why they did it is because they are a coward, Cancer. Because they cannot take accountability. Because they're too cowardice to take accountability. Those are the messages I'm getting from the cards. I don't know if that helps, but that's what I'm getting. So they did it because they're a coward, Cancer. I love you guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. And until next time, Nacho Mama out. Vroom, beep, beep.